The Impressa C9 One Touch from Jura Cappuccino is one of the newest additions to their powerful line of fully automatic coffee centers. And with the latest and most comprehensive one-touch technology, it's extremely user-friendly. Create a cappuccino, cafe mocha, latte, or latte macchiato, all without ever moving the cup. With the push of a button, the C9 One Touch grinds, tamps, and brews crema coffees, espressos, lattes, and cappuccinos in just seconds. Make 1 or 2 cups at a time and brew any size drink from 1 to a full 16 ounces fresher than in a coffee bar. Your C9 One Touch also dispenses hot water, perfect for creating cafe americano or for tea. And it has a separate funnel for using ground coffee, so you can brew a different variety of coffee, such as decaf, when you have regular beans in the bean container. All coffee, frothing, and hot water functions are completely programmable. You can set temperature, volume, and strength for each button. The bright LED dialogue system displays easy-to-understand instructions that help you make perfect drinks every time. And with the Auto Cappuccino system, you can create cappuccinos or lattes with just the touch of a button. There's no need to move the cup from the frother to the coffee spout. The C9 One Touch comes equipped with a commercial steel conical burr grinder, automatic cleaning cycles, and the unique Clearl water filtration system, which purifies the water and eliminates decalcification altogether. And electronic sensors tell you when water and bean levels are low. With its sleek piano black finish and handsome metallic touches, the C9 One Touch is the focal point of any kitchen or executive office. And it's safe to leave the One Touch on all day. Whenever you feel like having a cup of coffee, cappuccino, latte, or tea, simply press a button. It's like having a coffee bar right in your kitchen. The Jura Cappuccino C9 One Touch, if you love coffee. Follow these quick steps when setting up your C9 One Touch for the first time. In just minutes, you'll be ready to brew rich crema coffees and delicious froth drinks. Start by plugging the machine in and turning on the main power switch, located on the back of the machine. Once it's switched on, the on-off button on the front of your machine illuminates, indicating that you can start the machine. Remove the water tank, rinse, and fill with fresh water. It's important to remember that the Clearl water filter should not be installed during the initial setup of your C9 One Touch. Small grains from the filter may cause blockage inside your machine if it's inserted before the system has been filled with water. The filter installation is covered in detail in the Clearl filter section of this DVD. Now replace the water tank. Then fill the bean container with whole coffee beans. You may find small traces of ground coffee in your new machine. This is normal. In order to correctly calibrate the burr grinder, coffee beans have been ground by your machine in the factory. A quick tip: dark, oily beans have a tendency to stick together in the bean container. Stirring your beans each morning keeps them feeding smoothly into the grinder. Now push the on-off button on the front of your machine. The machine will then prompt you to fill the system by pressing the rinse button. Place a cup under the Auto Cappuccino system and push the illuminated rinse button. The C9 One Touch pumps a small amount of water through the system and then stops automatically. Your machine will then begin heating. Once your machine has heated, it will ask you to run a quick rinse cycle. Now place a cup under the coffee spouts and push the illuminated rinse button. This time, the water will rinse through the coffee spouts and stop automatically. Now push any of the coffee or espresso buttons to start the flow of beans into your C9 One Touch. This first cup will be a little weak, but your next cup will be perfect. Each morning, when you turn on the C9 One Touch, it will take a few moments to warm up. Once heated, the display will read "Press Rinse." With a cup under the dual coffee spouts, push the rinse button. This quick hot water cycle warms the internal parts, including the coffee spouts. You can make high-pressure brewed coffee, espresso drinks, hot chocolate, or tea once the LED display reads "Ready." Now let's look at how easy it is to make perfect pressure brewed coffee. The C9 One Touch works like a commercial coffee center. It brews coffee under high pressure, which, according to the majority of coffee experts, is the best system for maximum flavor and aroma. There are two preset coffee buttons, an espresso button and a coffee button. Temperature, coffee volume, and coffee strength for these buttons are preset in the factory. Later, we'll show you how to change those settings to your preferences. Both of these coffee buttons brew high-pressure coffee through the main coffee spout. Let's start by making a single cup of espresso. The C9 One Touch always brews in two steps. It first infuses some hot water into the coffee, pauses for a few seconds, and then continues brewing. This two-step process brings out the maximum flavor. The fine foamy layer on top of the coffee, called crema, is the trademark of pressure-brewed coffee. It's the crema that traps the fine aromatics and the light gaseous flavors that register on the palate. To make 2 espressos or 2 cups of coffee at a time, simply press the button twice. Your C9 One Touch will automatically make 2 of your preferred coffees. With the rotary dial behind this door, you can override the coffee strength and volume on a cup-by-cup basis without permanently changing the program setting. Let's use the rotary dial to make a strong 5-ounce cup of coffee. Begin by pressing the single cup coffee button. While the machine is grinding, you can use the rotary dial to adjust the strength of your coffee from mild to strong. Let's adjust the strength to strong. Once the machine has begun brewing, you can adjust the coffee volume by ½ ounces, again using the rotary dial. Here, we're changing the volume to 5 ounces. Your custom-made, strong 5-ounce cup will continue brewing. And you can use the rotary dial with any drink button. It offers you a truly custom cup every time. To create a Cafe Americano, start by preparing an espresso. Next, slide the cup over to the hot water spout and push the hot water button. When you've added enough hot water to your espresso, just push the hot water button once again. Using the hot water button, you can also prepare tea or pre-warm your coffee cups. The C9 One Touch features Jura Compresso's own auto cappuccino system. The front spout produces steam for heating and frothing milk, and the rear spout produces high-pressure brewed coffee. This fast, convenient system lets you create frothed coffee drinks without moving the cup. The auto cappuccino system has 2 preset buttons for frothed drinks, the cappuccino button and the milk portion button. There's also a preset portion button for hot water. To make drinks with milk, fill the thermal milk container with cold milk. For the thickest froth, use low-fat or skim milk. Now assemble the lid of the milk container, making sure the fittings are firmly in place. Next, insert the stainless steel rod, making sure the flat end fits snugly in the fitting, and twist the lid onto the milk container. Finally, attach the flexible milk hose. Because this system siphons milk to mix with hot steam, it's important that the parts connect tightly, creating a seal. The Froth Express dial has 3 positions for heating milk. The frothing position heats and froths the milk. The steaming position heats without froth. And the center position on the dial is for steam only and completely blocks the flow of milk. When warming milk, the knob is adjusted toward this center position to increase the milk temperature. Let's look at how easy it is to make cappuccinos and lattes. Begin with the Froth Express dial in the up position. Place a cup underneath the Froth Express and press the cappuccino button. The C9 One Touch begins by grinding the beans. Next, the heated frothed milk will begin flowing. Once the frothed milk is in the cup, your machine will begin adding freshly brewed espresso. The factory settings for a cappuccino are 14 seconds of frothed milk and 2 ounces of espresso. We'll look later at how to change the factory settings for one-touch auto cappuccino functions. And remember, you can always change the settings on a cup-by-cup basis on any programmed button using the Rotary Dial. To prepare a latte, simply move the dial on the Froth Express to the down position and press the Cappuccino button. With the dial in this position, the milk is steamed without adding froth. With one touch of a button, it's the perfect latte. The most popular coffee drink in Europe is the Latte Macchiato. Here's how to create one with your C9 One Touch that fits perfectly into your favorite glass. Place your glass, preferably tall and narrow, under the auto cappuccino spouts and set the Froth Express dial to the up or frothing position. Now press the milk portion button and the display shows heating. When the display shows ready, press and hold the milk portion button until the display reads, "Enough milk?" The frothed milk will begin flowing into your cup. When your cup is half full, turn the Froth Express dial down to the steaming position. Steamed milk will now begin flowing into your glass. When your cup is 2/3 full, press the milk portion button again to stop the flow of milk. Give the froth about 30 seconds to separate from the warm milk and slide the glass under the coffee spouts. Now press and hold the single espresso button until the display reads, "Enough coffee?" When you have enough espresso between your milk layers, press the single espresso button again. You've now reset the permanent volume settings for the milk portion and single espresso buttons. Each time you press these 2 buttons, you'll create the same perfect multi-layered latte macchiato. You can also use the press and hold visual programming feature for any of your coffee cups. It's the easy way to customize your coffee portion to fit your cups. Shortly after using the Froth Express, your machine will remind you to run a quick rinse cycle. Place an empty cup under the Froth Express, turn the Froth Express nozzle to the center position, and press the illuminated rinse button. This quick cycle rinses any milk remaining in the Froth Express. For more thorough cleaning, see the operating instructions. You may want to change the grinder to a finer or coarser setting. With most beans, a medium grind will produce the thickest crema. With dark, oily beans, we recommend grinding in a somewhat coarser setting to avoid over-extraction. A quick reminder, adjustments to the grinder setting can only be made while the machine is grinding. You can bypass grinding and use ground coffee by pressing the scoop button. This is great for making a cup of decaf or a cup of flavored coffee. First, press the scoop button, which tells the machine to bypass the grinder. The display will read, "Fill pre-ground." Place 1 or 2 scoops of ground coffee into this funnel. Then press the coffee button of your choice. Without grinding, the machine will now tamp and brew the ground coffee. Let's take a look at how you can program your machine to suit your personal coffee preferences. Using the Rotary Dial, let's have a look at the C9 One Touch's programmable functions. With the display reading ready, push and hold the Rotary Dial until the first programmable function, Rinse, appears. Although your machine will display when it's time to run cleaning programs, you can manually access rinse and cleaning cycles using this function. Details can be found in the operating instructions. The next function is Buttons. This is where you can set the strength, size, and temperature of all your one-touch beverage buttons. Next is Filter. We'll be installing the Clearal filter later and changing this from Filter No to Filter Yes. If you're not using the Clearal filter, you'll need to set the machine to the hardness of the water you're using. See the operating instructions for further information. In Energy, the machine is always in ready mode. For details on how to conserve energy while your machine is on but not brewing, see the operating instructions. Time allows you to set the time of day. Once you set the actual time, you can also program an auto-on time. The off-after feature lets you set the number of hours after last use. Your machine turns off automatically. The info function lets you check all your machine's records, such as how many cups have been prepared and how many cleaning cycles and filter changes have been done. The display feature lets you select the time format, either military or standard, and the liquid volume in either milliliters or ounces. The language function lets you select from 7 languages. And finally, there's Exit, which takes you out of programming mode. Simply push the rotary dial to return to Ready. It's easy to change the coffee button settings on your C9 One Touch. Use this process to change the settings on either of the coffee buttons, the cappuccino button, or the milk and water portion buttons. Beginning with the coffee button, let's change the cup size, the coffee strength, and the temperature for the coffee button to prepare a 4-ounce, strong, high-temperature cup of coffee. Start by pressing and holding the rotary dial. Now turn the dial until the display shows Buttons and press the dial to get into this function. Press the coffee button as we're changing automatic settings for this button. Let's start by changing the settings for the water volume. Press the rotary dial. The display shows the current volume setting, 3 ounces. Turn the dial to 4 ounces and push the dial to confirm the new water setting. When you confirm a change, the machine will read OK. The next setting is strength. Again, push the rotary dial to change the setting. Turn to Strong and press the dial again to confirm the new setting. Finally, turn the dial until the display shows Temperature and push the dial to change the setting. Turn to High and push the button to confirm the new setting. To exit the button programming, rotate the dial to exit and push. To exit programming completely and return to making drinks, rotate the dial through all the programmable functions until you reach Exit and push. Your 1-cup button is now programmed to prepare a 4-ounce, strong, high-temperature cup of coffee with the touch of a button. Heated water inside your C9 One Touch leaves calcium deposits in the tubes leading to the coffee spouts and the frother. Using a Clearil cartridge improves your water quality by taking out calcium, chlorine, and other unwanted elements. Using the Clearil filter eliminates the need to decalcify the machine. Let's take a quick moment to install and activate the Clearil water filter. Once the filter has been removed from the bag and rinsed under running water, push it tightly into place in the water tank. Now replace the water tank. Fill the water tank with fresh, cold water. If you use tap water, we highly recommend installing the Clearil filter. For any other water, like bottled water or distilled water, see the operating instructions. Press and hold the button in the center of the rotary dial until it illuminates. Rotate the dial until you reach the Filter function and press the button. The display reads Filter No. Turn the dial to Filter Yes. As we're inserting a filter, push the button to confirm. The display will read Insert, and the Rinse button will illuminate. Place a cup or container under the Froth Express nozzle and press the illuminated Rinse button. The display will read Filter Rinsing. For the next 60 seconds, water will be pumped through the filter and out through the Froth Express nozzle. During the activation, the water may be slightly discolored. This is not harmful and will not affect the taste of your coffee. If you need to stop the flow of water to empty the glass or container, simply press the Rinse button. This will allow you to empty and replace the glass or container. You can resume by pressing the Rinse button once again. When the filter has completed the rinse cycle, your C9 One Touch will stop automatically. The machine will warm up and then return to Ready. The display will remind you automatically when it's time to replace the filter. For details, see the operating instructions. A powerful memory chip in the C9 One Touch monitors all functions to keep the machine in good working order, and its display reminds you when it's time to clean the machine. It also automatically monitors the water tank and the used coffee grounds. When the display reads "Fill water tank," simply refill the tank with fresh cold water. Don't worry about the tank or pump running dry. It will always keep a reserve of approximately 6 ounces of water. After 16 cups of coffee, your C9 One Touch will automatically prompt you to empty the grounds. The overflow tray, along with the used grounds container, slides out easily and can be emptied and rinsed with warm water. Please remember to empty the grounds container every time you remove the tray. Simply replace the tray and your machine is ready again. The C9 One Touch also monitors the internal brewing chamber and tamping area. After each 200 cups of coffee, it will remind you to run a short tablet cleaning cycle to remove coffee oil buildup in those areas. You can find details in the operating instructions. Jura Capresso's C9 One Touch makes all your coffee drinks the way you want them. It's smart, user-friendly, and brews all your coffee drinks perfectly, every time with just one touch. It's the perfect system, perfect taste. Should you have any further questions regarding your C9 One Touch's use and care, please see your local Jura Capresso dealer or contact the Jura Capresso Customer Service Department at 1-800-220-5701 or ask your questions online at contact@capresso.com. You can also visit our website for additional product information. We can be found at www.capresso.com.